the week of BlizzCon is when you would expect the real leaks to come. We've been going through MMO Champion, we've been going through Reddit, sometimes 4chan, God help us, to find these leaks and get to the bottom of them. We've already seen lots of leaks on this channel, and I've loved every single one of them. A part of me thinks every single one of them is true. However, this is the time period now when legitimate leaks can and in fact do happen. We are now in a time frame where, for example, that Bolvar picture got leaked from the cinematic of Shadowlands. We're now in the time frame where the Kyrian like banner leaked from Shadowlands as well. We are now in the time frame where any leak could definitely be legit, and especially one that looks incredibly persuasive and professional and well done. And speaking of which, there has been a leak on Reddit recently which does look very good. And a lot of people are treating as if it's legitimate. Like I say, I am not looking at the actual leak itself here. I am looking at a Wowhead article talking about said leak, which is something Wowhead basically never do. Now, take from that what you will. Maybe they just think it looks very legit. Maybe they know something we don't. Wowhead often do. Maybe that's why they've put it on there. The very fact that it's on Wowhead could be a legitimizing part of this leak, honestly. One thing I can promise you, Internet, is there's going to be no fence sitting on this leak. I will give you a firm opinion on its legitimacy or not. Because I know the easy thing to do is to go, well, I mean, at this time frame, usually my take with leaks is always just say it's wrong. Always just say it's fake, and you're going to be right 99.999% of the time. Then you get into this little time frame, the week before, and it's probably safer just to not say any leak is fake. Honestly, you know, express kind of acceptable pessimism about the legitimacy of any leaks, but generally fence sit and go, well, it could be right. I mean, look, don't you remember the little screenshot of Stony Tony and Alex Straza? No one thought that was real, or I didn't. I did not think that was real. When that got leaked for Dragonflight, I did not think that was real. The little blurry screenshot, everyone was like, what's that? Is that an orc? What is that? It's an ugly motherfucking orc. It was Stony Tony of all people. Now, I did believe the logo and the key art when that leaked. I thought that was legitimate, and it turned out to be so. So I have some thoughts about this leak, but we're going to take a look at it right now. The Avaloren expansion leak for World of Warcraft 11.0. Now, it's worth noting that Wowhead are calling it the Avaloren expansion leak for World of Warcraft because it doesn't have a name. It doesn't say what this expansion is called. As far as I know, is this 11.0? We get these 4 slides, which certainly do look like slides from a expansion announcement trailer. A features trailer, we're going to call this. Lots of people are thinking this is legitimate, and I can see why. Look, new continent, Avaloren. We got some lightning stone dwarves here. He's got like a kind of weird spiky hand thing going on. Yeah, great, awesome, fantastic. What else we got? We got like a statue with lightning going to it, like in Stormheim, very much like in Stormheim. We got like a little bird statue up here because they're good at flying, right? And they're all about the lightning, so excellent. Then we got a desert zone as well. So look, we've got forests, we've got grizzly hills, we've got snowland. Okay, we got desert land and we got dinosaur land. We're covering all the bases here. We got desert land, and you can see there are some like, you know, desert things going on here. There's like a little troll thing up here. Brilliant, like ogre thing, I should say. And then you got dinosaur land, which is nice, isn't it? Look at that. There are roads in dinosaur land. Fantastic. The terrain makes me think a lot of WoD. Well, I hope this hits. I hope this hits how I mean it to. I kind of think that since WoD, every expansion kind of looks like WoD. Does that make sense? I feel like there was a change in graphical kind of design philosophy in WoD, which has kind of stuck with the game ever since. And to a certain extent, I kind of feel like since WoD, every expansion looks like WoD. And that's a good thing. I think that's really cool. But yeah, like basically whenever I see a new expansion zones, I'm like, kind of looks like WoD. Just in the general style, right? This looks legit, but I already hate it. It's showing everything I don't care to see in WoW. Well, this is really interesting, Goblin, because this is the opinion, this is the reaction a lot of people have. They simultaneously think it's legit and also hate it. I think someone was saying that was Asmongold's reaction. It was like, I hate it, so it must be true. It's like, dude, you'd hate it, whatever. Come on. But look, this does look really legit. Okay, and we're going to come back and we're going to look at all of these things individually. Then you've got this laptop photo, which looks like a build for the website, which is interesting, isn't it? The Agorand. It looks like we've got an Agorand up in the background of Desert Land up here, up in this corner here. Agoraland, these are people, and there's like a mobile version as well using Khazalgar. And I know that Evie thinks this is real. I can tell you that right now. The birds that appear in the Avaloren slide here they are in the data. They're not in the game right now, but they are in the data. So that's another thing that points to it being legitimate. Wowhead have data mined these birds before, and them being in this shot. Then you've got these towers that are being made in BlizzCon, and Blizzard shared this picture themselves, making some set for BlizzCon, right? Which many are taking as being a hint towards the next expansion. And Wowhead reckon these appear in the photos, and that makes it a bit more legitimate as well. So these do look real. And I didn't actually look at the result of the poll when it finished, so I'm going to have to do it again. Now that you've seen it, poll, Avaloren, real, not real. I would like your opinions on the legitimacy of this leak. Because we are in the correct time frame now. I'd like to know what you guys think. I think most of you are going to think it's real. Here's my opinion, right? I'm at the stage where it would be stupid of me to come out and flat out say it's not real. Why? Why would I do that? Why would I come out and say this is not real when it could easily be real? I would not be surprised if this was real. But if I'm not going to fence it, and if I am gonna like have a hard and fast opinion here, I am gonna disagree with 61% of you in the chat, and I'm gonna say this is not real. And I'm gonna tell you why. There are lots of little things about it which you can pick out, but for me, the reason I don't think it's real is it just fits too well. It's got everything that everyone thought was gonna be in it. Avaloren, Khazalgar. It's just too perfect, because whatever happens, it's never exactly how everyone thinks it's going to be. Everyone had their opinions on how Dragonflight was going to be. Like, everyone predicted the Dragon Isles, but everyone was like, oh yeah, you'll join one of the flights and they'll give you a special power and stuff like that. And actual like no one predicted dragon riding, stuff like that. So it always actually turns out to be a bit different, but on the same theme. And this one is just too neat a package. It's just too everything that everyone already thinks. Does that make sense? So that's the thing. And that's what sets more than anything else. Because I still wouldn't be surprised if this was real. Okay. And I want to say that, but because I'm forcing myself to come down on one side here, I think it's not. And because it's just too neat. It's too neat and tidy. And it's too everything that everyone already thinks. That sets my WoW content creator senses tingling, Now, Zell has done a really good tweet thread on this, picking out all of the assets that are, assets that already exist in the game that they think have been used in these various different screenshots, which is really like a really kind of interesting thing to do. And they're finding the screenshots, or they're finding like the assets and stuff all over the place, and I think that's really, really good. I wouldn't be surprised if the new expansion uses a hell of a lot of assets that already exist in the game, though. So just that in itself isn't proof. I'm really glad that this thread exists. I think it's super clever, and I appreciate all the hard work that's gone into it. It does definitely make me think it is less real, but also just proving that the assets already exist in the game is not proof that it's not real, in my opinion. Usually in the kind of images they use for their features trailer, they do use ones that have unique assets in them, right? Which these pictures definitely don't. That's something we can say. And the framing of it is just a bit weird. For me, the composition of these images isn't great. Yeah, I agree with the general sentiment that if this is real, it's pretty uninspiring as it stands. But to every degree, like the framing of these images is uninspiring. The concept of these images is uninspiring. The baddies and creatures and kind of the actual just environments here are very uninspiring. I don't think anyone is like genuinely excited about these. And that's difficult for me to say because, like I say, they could turn out to be true. They look Dragonflight inspired. Well, this picture for Avaloren does, but I mean, this looks like Legion. This one and the other two look like BFA. I think that's the least inspired. These two are the least inspiring ones, right? Because they just look like BFA. I'm going to put my ass on the line here, and I'm going to open myself to ridicule and being the worst thing that can possibly happen to me in my entire life, which is people will say, Taliesin was wrong. And I hope you realize how brave I'm being here, because there is literally nothing that I fear more in this world than the internet thinking I'm wrong about something. Which is why I started a YouTube channel giving my opinions, so that never happens, right? Yeah, clearly I'm very, very wedded to being right about everything, which is why I give lots of opinions on the internet. It's like... I just don't think this looks real. And so that's the main reason I don't think it looks real, is because it's just too perfect. It's too neat a package of all the things that everyone already thinks it's going to be. And then we can get into the details of why I don't think this is real, which is particularly these two bottom ones just look wrong to me. These just look like badly put together compositions. They just don't. I don't buy it. I don't vibe it. Everything looks just a little, and obviously it's pixelated, like all the good leaks, always going to be pixelated. First one looks a bit Azerspan, Grizzly Hills. This looks like an altered version of that. Of all of the pictures, I think this top one looks the most real, which is fun, which is interesting. I like that. Yeah, but you know me, man. I love zones like this. I'm like, yeah, nice. This statue is straight out of Airy Peak, but then I mean, it could just be a higher res version. They might want to be referencing Airy Peak. That in itself isn't a disproving feature, but I don't know. There's just something about these that doesn't look real to me. On a gut level, particularly this one. Particularly these rock dino things. But that's not to say that they're definitely... I can't say they're definitely not. And you know what? If it turns out it is real, I'm sure it's going to look much better in the trailer than it does here. I'm sure in the actual presentation, it will look much better than it does right now. But let me say something as well. If this is real, fuck whoever leaked it. Like, fuck forever the person who leaked this. It's such a shitty thing to do. I have no choice but to cover it because, like, I'm a WoW news guy, right? I have to, in a way. And also because I want to. But if you leak this shit, you're a fucking idiot. You're a fucking asshole. If you are willing to shit on other people's work for a few clicks on the internet, just so you can feel a bit special and get some clout when no one, like, by definition, no one can ever know who you are anyway, then fuck you. Just fuck you, honestly. Just fuck you. A genuinely shit thing to do. And that goes to the person who leaked the key art for Dragonflight and everything else. Like, just fuck it. What if the leak is intentional? It will never be intentional. I promise you. Blizzard would never, ever do it on purpose. I know that for a fact. Devs fucking hate this shit. Devs don't even like data mining. Well, if this is a fake, and I think it is, I don't think it's AI. I don't think AI has done it. I think this is a handcrafted, bespoke, made to measure. This is like they've done this properly. They've done this proper old school, right? The laptop photos are fun and interesting, although these are from a different leak, aren't they? In the age of digital manipulation, this alone doesn't tell us much, and the true original source of the potential leak remains unknown. However, as rumors and discussions circulate through the WoW community, further evidence appears to have arisen. So this is separate. This is completely separate. And well, so this is like meant to be a mock-up of the website. This uses the Dragonflight background from the website, which it's feasible that they would still be using as a placeholder if they haven't got key art. It uses European spelling, or like British spelling as opposed to American spelling. I don't see this being real at all. In my opinion, it looks a tad boring, so it must be real. Well, this has been the real shock for me, is seeing this reaction from people, because I agree with you. It does look boring. It does look, all of this looks a bit boring and a bit unimaginative and a bit uninspiring and would not excite me very much. But that's why I think it's not real. Like, it's a really sad situation where you guys are like, this looks shit, I think it's real. The T is not capitalized in those. Well, I mean, you know, this is a mock-up and it would be subject to proofreading and stuff like that. So I don't think that spelling mistakes are necessarily a deal breaker for this being real. You know, when things are made before they're released, I know this is hard to believe, but they do have mistakes in them that need changing. That's pretty normal. If you zoom in on the desert picture of the other leak, that orc model is in the background, so people are connecting the two leakers. Oh, right. Well, no. So, okay. So here's what I think. Do you remember when I said that the thing that makes me think this is fake more than anything else is that it's just too perfect and it's just too neat and tidy and that it just has everything that everyone thinks is going to be in there? Yeah. I think the kind of orc thing in the background here is absolutely taken from this leak here. But that doesn't mean they're connected. That means that this is a leak that got some traction, and whoever made this leak put it in there to make it seem more real. Likewise, well, you know, obviously Avaloren, you got your lightning dwarfs that everyone thinks is going to be there. You got your flying, you know, your storm riders, which everyone thinks is going to be there. And what's the other thing they've put in? Oh, these pillars. Okay, so Wowhead pointed out that these pillars look a little bit in this bottom image, the BFA a dinosaur image, look a little bit like those pillars that we shared, that Blizzard shared for the set. Now, can you see that? Can you see them both together there? Here and here. And I think this is another. I think this is another example of the leaker just taking things that are already out there and already existent. I feel like, I mean, this leak came after these pictures, and I think they would have just put them in afterwards, honestly. And do you know why? Because if Blizzard are building a set at BlizzCon that represents the new expansion, I don't think it'd be this fucking zone that they're doing. Like, regardless. If they're like, yo, we're going to go to the time and expense to make a set based on something cool from the new expansion, it ain't going to be this fucking zone. They said they use it for the museum section, as far as I know. Yeah, exactly. So I look forward to the opening ceremony when they unveil the X-Pack and you bring out your Tally was right badge. Well, I think I am right. And I'm going to, like, you better hope I'm wrong. You better hope I'm incredibly wrong. Because, dudes, everyone is treating this like it's real. And I'm going to be the smuggest motherfucker on earth when it turns out not to be real. If this turns out not to be real, you better block me. Honestly, you're not going to want to come onto my stream for a long fucking time, put it that way. Didn't you predict Avaloren? I mean, Avaloren isn't a hard thing to predict, right? Although, it's worth noting that I did bring out our official predictions video 6 months ago. And honestly, the stuff that's come out that looks like it is actually real, stuff like the Storm Rider and things like that, still absolutely backs up the kind of the thrust of what we said 6 months ago. Oh yeah, dudes, if this doesn't turn out to be real, if you're watching the live stream will probably cut out because, like, the field of smug, like the nuclear explosion of smug radiating from me in, like, the front row will take out the cameras. It'll just, like, blow the electrics. It would just like irradiate off me like a kind of a nuclear explosion, like that. On this pic, it says New Continent. New Continent, Avaloren. Yeah, like an SMP, a smug MP explosion. If it is real, they'll pan to you. Oh, exactly. There are people at BlizzCon right now who know this is real, who are already planning where the camera's going to go. They're like, get it on that motherfucker. Yeah, if it turns out to be real, you'll see my face just melting like in Raiders of the Lost Ark. To be fair, the groan, if it is real, will also take out the cameras. Oh, yeah. If this... yes, you're right, by the way. If this turns out to be real, people are going to be really disappointed. Now, I think it would be stupid to, if this is real, invest too much into it, like grainy stills from an expansion we know nothing about. But I wouldn't actually blame people for being disappointed having seen this. I'm not completely... I think people are being silly to treat this as if it is real and to make... opinions on WoW as a result. Holy shit. It's absolutely wild. It's absolutely wild. But I get it. It's a natural human thing. And, as far as saying why it looks nice to me, yeah, I think it looks nice. I'm sure it'd be really good, but it doesn't grab my balls and milk them. Do you know what I mean? That's all right. There's nice zones. But, I mean, it looks a bit too similar to Dragonflight. I think they would try and do something aesthetically a little bit different from Dragonflight. Why would you milk your balls? That's where the piss is stored. That's where I keep my food. I'm still waiting for a floating continent. Yeah, I think an airship expansion would be... That's... If I could choose, I think it's going to be a Beyond the Western Storms expansion, but if I could choose, I'd have an airship expansion. If we're doing a mood board, right, and we're choosing one image to base the entire expansion on, that's the image that I want. That'd be the image I choose. Tally, can I ask something? No. Yeah, of course you can. People say pirates, and Ybarra said no pirates. But pirates are thieves, right? They aren't explorers. Yeah, exactly. And I said this. When Ybarra came out and said no pirates, everyone was like, oh, Tally, fuck you. Fuck you, Tally. Oh, it sucks to be. I was like, dude, I said conquistadors. I said explorers. I said New World shit, right? So yeah, no pirates doesn't prove what I said wrong at all. Yeah, very different. Besides, also, the other thing you can't discount is if I was working on the WoW team, I probably just wouldn't tell Ybarra anything. I don't trust that motherfucker. I'm joking. Mike, I'm joking. You seem like a really nice guy. I hope I get to shake your hand at BlizzCon. You seem really cool. But you're the boss, and as such, you have to get the piss taken out of you. That's how it works. I'm really sorry. If you didn't want to get the piss taken out of you by fucking jokers on the internet, don't become the boss. Sorry. But yeah, if I worked for WoW, I wouldn't tell that motherfucker anything. Fuck him. Be like, what are you doing for you? He'd like come in and be like, what are you doing for your new expansion, guys? Will it have good Mythic Plus? And I'd be like, yeah, we're doing no pirates. No pirates, yeah. Okay. Your secret is safe with me. That motherfucker tweeting it out like later that day. Everyone in the office like, yeah, that motherfucker. I'm not saying he's like Blizzard's Elon Musk. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying he'd quite like to be like Blizzard's Elon Musk is all I'm saying. Like he does tweet at Elon Musk quite a lot. Yeah, he does tweet it. He tweet because Elon Musk says he said he was going to stream Diablo 4, didn't he? He was going to test Twitch's live stream capabilities, which went really well. I can't remember how it went now, so I'm just going to assume it went really, really well. And he said he was going to live stream some Diablo 4. And Mighty Barra tweeted at him, which is fair. In fairness, he runs the company that makes the game. Honestly, do you know what I mean? Oh, he did. He did stream. Was it good? That's great. Good for him. Was the stream good? I'm sure, like I say, I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was a brilliant stream. I'm sure it was fucking brilliant. I'm sure he's amazing. I've seen his Elden Ring build. Like, that dude knows fucking video games, okay? Say what you like about Elon Musk, but he is a true gamer. Not just because he fucking hates gay people and trans people. He's a true gamer because I've seen his Elden Ring game, his build, and it is fucking legit. Very fucking legit. Fat rolling all over the place. Brilliant. Amazing. Clearly, the man is so good at Elden Ring that he just made the worst build humanly possible. Like, the kind of build someone who didn't understand the basics of the game would make. To make it harder for himself. To challenge himself. Exactly. Don't you think the dinosaur legs look a bit weird? I think all of it looks a bit weird. I don't think it's real, just for the record. I don't think this is real. I wouldn't be surprised if it is, right? Like, you are all entitled to laugh at me if it turns out to be real. If it turns out to be real, you are all within your rights to come back, or don't even come back. Don't even give me the views. I don't deserve them. Send me hate mail. Tag me on Twitter and laugh at me there. Don't watch any of my content. Don't give me any money, all right? Just fucking send me shit in a box, okay? And laugh at me for being wrong. But I wouldn't be surprised if I am wrong. I'm just trying to not be on the fence on this one. It's too easy to be on the fence. It's too easy to be like, well, there are things about it that don't look real, but also, it could be real. It could be real. It wouldn't surprise me if it was real, but I don't think it is for the reasons that I've said. Too neat a package. It just incorporates too much of what everyone already thinks is going to be in the expansion, which just doesn't seem likely to me. And I think generally the framing and the concept of these zones is pretty uninspired, which isn't proof against it. Of course not. But if I had to bet my life on it, I'd say no, this is not real. And even if I didn't have to bet my life on it, which I don't, I'm still going to say no. And whoever has put this together has done a really good job, by the way, because they have included everything that everyone thinks is going to be in there already. They have picked up on other leaks that have gained traction and that people are kind of half believing, and included bits of those as well, which I think is really clever. And yeah, they've done a great job. They've waited. They've sat on this. Until this week, which is when legit leaks come out, and they've put it out here. But I do think that's what's happened. And so far, I don't think this is real. I haven't seen anything that makes me think it's real. That's not to say it's not, but I just don't think it is. What do you think? Have I convinced you? I'm going to put up another poll now and see if more people agree with me now. Another reason I don't believe this is because if you've got pictures of these slides, you would have a picture of the logo. If you have access to these slides, even if you've nicked them, you've got access to the logo, and you would leak that as well, because that has the name. But you know why that hasn't happened? It's because the logos are really fucking hard to fake. Like, fair dues, logos are really hard. Like, WoW logos are all individually designed. They're all different. They're really fucking hard. It's really difficult to do a convincing, like, full-scale WoW expansion logo. I've never seen a fake one that was convincing. Ever. More people think it's... Oh, no, wait! Not real has now won! You're being too kind. Wait, no. So wait, we've gone from 60% of people thinking that it was real to 70% of people saying it's not real? I think you're sucking my dick a little bit there, guys. No, I don't think that was my masterful convincing skills. I don't think that's my masterful arguing skills there. I don't think I've convinced anyone. I think you're just being kind. I think you just wanted me to shut the fuck up. This is going to be the longest week ever. Not for me, it's not. I've still got another video to get out. This week is not long enough for me. Well, here's the thing, right? You can think it's real, but still hope that it's not. You know, I think that's... If I thought this was real, I think deep down I'd be hoping it wasn't. What airline you flying? Actually, I don't know. I actually don't know. Evie deals with that stuff. Look, man, I'm just a freewheeling creative, okay? All right? I just do the creative stuff, okay? I just upset people on Twitter, okay? That's my job. Her job is to, like, deal with anything that a grown-up needs to do. Okay, let me, in conclusion here, let me list the reasons I think this isn't real. 1, it's too neat a package. It contains pretty much everything that everyone already thinks is going to be in the expansion. It's too targeted. It's like everything that everyone thinks is going to be there is there, which is never usually the case with a real one. Secondly, It's incredibly uninspiring. Like, I think the zones are really uninspiring. They just like BFA zones, probably because they're made from reused assets because it's not real. Thirdly, there's no cities. There's no cities shown here. And I know, obviously, there's more to this trailer. Right? If this trailer is real, there's loads more to it than what we're seeing. But the idea that they wouldn't show you a city, and the idea that whoever is leaking this wouldn't have chosen one of the slides that showed you the city, red flag to me. You know why, don't you? It's because cities are really it's easy to put together it's relatively easy to put together a little desert scene. Much more difficult to put together a city. Likewise with the logo. Making a legit fucking designed Avaloren or whatever it is logo is fucking hard. Really fucking hard. I think loads of these. I think the birds look fake down here. I think the leopard looks fake up here. I think there's loads of shit looks fake in this one. I think, it looks terrible. And I think these pillars look fake as well. So yeah, just like, but then who could tell with a pixelated image like that, right? So they could look fake but not be fake at all. So I'm giving you the reasons I think it's fake are much more like gut feelings than based on any kind of, putting a red circle around something and going, well, this should be doing this and it's not, it's doing that. It's just a gut feeling. We've been doing this for a while now. We've been following expansion leak season for a while, and this just doesn't ring true for me for those reasons I've given. Cities look new and different. If you try and fake a city with old assets, people will notice. Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So in fact, the more I talk about it, the less real I think it is. I started this stream saying it could easily be real. And it could, but I really don't think it is. Have you seen the MMO champion text leaks that people think corroborates this? So this apparently came with it. World of Warcraft Storms of Avaloren. Okay. Level cap raised to 80. What? Okay, I'm convinced. New neutral race, Algaran, tall dwarves made of stone but have coloured hair. Guys, I've noticed that wearing what I'm wearing today is actually perfect for leak season because I can do this. I'm the guy from the meme. New continent, Avaloren. 4 zones. Art looked like jungle, desert, snowy peaks, and rocky peaks. So this came out 2 weeks ago. This is exactly what I mean about the other leak. Kind of grabbing and pulling from other leaks that have kind of gained traction and stuff like that. I think that whoever made the fake is very clever, if it is a fake. Kaz Algar, capital city, partially underground. Like Ironforge if half of it was above ground. Half of it is above ground. No new specs. Some specs turn into support specs. Lightbound. Well, okay. So Ian did say that wasn't going to happen. Tauli has been emphasizing underground a lot recently. Oh yeah. Well, Kaz Algar is definitely going to be part of the expansion, and it's definitely like in a fissure in the ground. Like it's Kaz Algar is going to be a huge fucking crack which has like all dwarf buildings in it. 100%. Like definitely. Yeah. I agree with that, which is not, by the way, what that photo in the leak that we've just been looking at looks like, particularly to me. They've kind of got like a canyon going on here, but I think it's going to be, it's going to be like, what's the bit in Cataclysm where it is that? It's like a fucking crack in the ground and there's like a dwarf city going on there. It's going to be like that. Yeah, totally. I also don't think, I also only think that will be the capital. I don't think any of the rest of the expansion will be underground. I think even if they were planning that, the reaction to Zaralek Caverns overall, they'll be like, let's not set all of it underground now. Okay, Lightbound Titan Keepers and Storm Dreadlords. I wrote fast on my lunch break. Let me clarify some things. I only saw some slides and pamphlets. Algaran look cool. Lots of rocky protrusions out their shoulders and back that look customizable. And lightning beards like Dark Iron's lava beards. Yeah, what looked to be a boat. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that thing in the harbor is, but I'm gonna stick my neck out. Looks to be a boat. I wish the Algaran Storm Rider didn't leak. Yeah, it killed leak season, didn't it? The Algaran Storm Rider thing, it really pushed everyone into one direction with these fake leaks. Boring, isn't it? Okay. Their head is real hair and not rock-shaped like hair. Okay. Sorry, they are still smaller than orcs, but a head or so taller than dwarves. The zones look great, but only saw concept art. Khazalgar being partially underground, it's more like in a giant cave with part coming out. Lightbound Titan Keeper meaning a very holy-looking infused thing that looked like a Titan Keeper to me doesn't mean it was one. A very elemental-looking Dreadlord could have used the skeleton, but looked pretty Dreadlordy to me. Dragons with fur, antenna, and moth wings looks very different than what I saw. One was being flown by a Drakthir in visage form in a mage gear set. Also saw a Drakthir Shaman in their support spec image, as well as what looked like a dwarf in druid-like gear, and an Algaran priest. Looks like priests can get angel wings and hover around, a bit like evokers, but maybe that's already in-game, I don't play priests. Boat looked like a massive mount, had a night elf at the wheel. Had a night elf at the wheel, and a bunch of Alliance racers running around the deck. Silvermoon has a big statue of Lorthamar and Thalisra at the harbour and lots of ships including high elf and human ones. Gilneas had... Wait. We've gone from what looked to be a ship to... There were clearly identifiable human and like elf ships. I could tell the difference. You know, we've gone from squinting at a picture going, that looks to be a ship, to, oh yeah, that's definitely a human ship and an elf ship beside it. There were Alliance racers running around on the deck. Like, Gilneas had night elf aesthetics in one shot, but I think it's more like a night elf district than an entire city. There was also a Drust Kultiran district. Gen gets a new human model with a fancier coat. Nice. Well, that would make sense if they're redoing Gilneas. Totally. Mia's still in her pixelated dress. Okay, look, man. I think that's fine. I like this. I think this is fine. I think this is good. I think this is a good fake leak. And, you know, at this stage, who knows? Who's even saying it's not fake? Who's even saying it's... You know, it could be real, could be fake. At this stage, I don't even fucking care. But I mean, it certainly sounds fake to me. But then everything sounds fake to me. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, but thank you for sharing this with me. Thank you for sending it to me. I think this is fake. I'm going to stick my neck out. Please come. No, don't come back. Like I say, don't give me the views if I'm wrong. Don't come to my stream if I'm wrong. Just mock me. Mock me mercilessly. As you're watching the reveal at BlizzCon, when they start showing, you know, when the features trailer starts as this fucking thing, when, you know, it's like new content at Avaloren, it's this fucking picture here, then that's when you can pick up your phone and start tweeting at me, right? Battle of Avaloren. I mean, honestly, it does look like it. But there's a flip side. There's a flip side to this deal. I like deals. If I'm right, and I've had the guts to come out and say categorically that this is a fake, you got to metaphorically suck my dick. I'm just saying, like, if you're all going to make fun of me correctly, by the way, for being wrong, then you have to give me some props when I'm right. That's all I'm saying. I followed just to you know. Good, thank you. Can we actually suck it? No, it's too small. You wouldn't all fit around it. It's so teeny tiny. You'd need one of those big magnets, like you see, one of those big magnifying glasses that like you had to put on your Game Boy.